It's January. There's frost on the ground. Your garden is frozen solid, and you're about to start planting vegetables. Sound crazy? It's not. It's strategic. The gardeners who get the biggest, earliest harvests aren't waiting for perfect spring weather. They're starting seeds indoors right now in the dead of winter, while everyone else is still flipping through seed catalogs. Today, I'm revealing 7 vegetables you should start from seed in January to beat the frost and get harvests weeks or even months before your neighbors. Stick around for number 4. It takes so long from seed to harvest that if you don't start it in January, you might not get any production at all. And number 7, it separates serious gardeners from casual ones, and January is your only window to do it right. Let's dive in. Vegetable 1. Onions, the non-negotiable January start. If you only start one crop in January, make it onions. This is the foundation of your spring garden. Why January is critical? Onions are day-length sensitive. They start bulbing when day length hits a specific threshold. Start too late, and they don't build enough top growth before bulbing begins. Small tops equals small bulbs. Walnuts instead of baseballs. The time requirement. Onions need 12 to 16 weeks of indoor growing before transplanting. Start in January, they're ready for the garden in April with thick, sturdy stems. Start in March, barely pencil thin by transplant time. You've lost the season. How to start? Sow seeds in trays under grow lights. Temperature 65 to 75 degrees F for germination, 5 to 10 days. Light 12 to 16 hours daily once sprouted. Transplant when pencil thick, 12 weeks. Critical variety selection. Long day onions, northern regions above 37 degrees north, Copra, Patterson. Short day onions, southern regions below 37 degrees north, Texas early white. Day neutral, work anywhere, Candy. Choose wrong and you'll get all tops and no bulbs. The payoff? January started onions grow to 3 to 4 inches in diameter. March started, maybe 1 to 2 inches. That's the difference between storing 50 pounds and storing 15 pounds. Vegetable 2. Leeks, the patient giant that needs time. Leeks need 120 to 150 days from seed to harvest, and most of that happens before transplanting. Why start in January? Leeks don't bulb. They form thick white stalks. The longer they grow before transplanting, the thicker those stalks become. Late-started leeks are pencil thin. January-started leeks are thumb thick and incredibly productive. The cold hardy advantage. Leeks survive winter in most climates and can be harvested fresh when everything else is done. Fresh vegetables from the garden in January and February? That's incredible value. How to start? Same method as onions. Trays under lights. Temperature 65 to 75 degrees F for germination, 7 to 14 days. Transplant when 8 to 10 inches tall, 10 to 12 weeks. Plant deep in trenches, 6 inches, for long white shanks. Best varieties? King Richard, early and tender. Bandit, disease-resistant. Giant Musselburgh, incredibly hardy. Leeks mature in fall and stay in the ground all winter. Harvest is needed. They get sweeter after frost. Vegetable 3. Celery, the slow germinator everyone plants too late. Celery's reputation for being difficult, the real problem is people started 2 to 3 months too late. The brutal timeline. Celery needs 16 to 18 weeks from seed to transplant size, then another 8 to 12 weeks in the garden. That's 24 to 30 weeks total. Start in March, you're harvesting in October when it's bolting. Start in January, you're harvesting in July during peak celery season. The germination challenge. Celery seeds are tiny and slow to germinate, 14 to 21 days. They also need light to germinate, which is unusual. How to start? Surface sow seeds. Don't bury, they need light. Temperature 60 to 70 degrees F. Cover with clear plastic for humidity. Mist regularly to keep surface moist. Be patient. Germination is slow. The success formula? Celery needs consistent moisture, rich soil, and cool temperatures. In containers or raised beds with perfect conditions, it's manageable. Best varieties? Tango, bolt-resistant, red venture, red celery, beautiful, golden self-blanching, tender, sweet. Regional timing. USA and Canada, zones 3 to 6, start in January, transplant in May, harvest July, August. UK, start in January, harvest August onwards. Homegrown celery tastes intensely aromatic, nothing like watery store-bought stuff. Vegetable 4, celeriac, celery root, the root that doubles in size. Celeriac is celery's underground cousin. You grow it for the knobby root, and it needs even more time than celery. The insane timeline. Celeriac needs 18 to 20 weeks from seed to transplant size, then another 12 to 16 weeks in the garden. That's 30 to 36 weeks total, longer than almost any vegetable. Start in March, you'll get golf ball-sized roots. Start in January, you'll get softball-sized roots. Why it's worth it? Celeriac stores for 4 to 6 months in a cool, humid place. It's one of the best storage vegetables for winter eating. The flavor is incredible, concentrated celery with nutty, earthy notes. How to start? Exactly like celery. Surface sow needs light. Temperature 60 to 70 degrees F. Germination 14 to 21 days. Be patient. Transplant size 3 to 4 inches tall, 18 weeks. Regional timing. All zones 3 to 8 start in January, transplant in May, harvest October onwards. How to use? Roasted celeriac caramelizes beautifully. Mashed like potatoes, it's rich and satisfying. Raw in remoulade, it's crisp and refreshing.
Vegetable 5. Peppers, the tropical crop that needs maximum time. In cold climates, peppers race against frost. Starting them in January gives them the longest possible growing season, the slow start. Pepper seeds take 14 to 21 days to germinate, then they grow slowly for 6 to 8 weeks. Start in March, by June they're barely transplant-sized. Start in January, they're sturdy, 8 to 12 inches tall, ready to explode with growth. Why January matters for cold climates? In zones 3 to 5, the frost-free season might only be 100 to 120 days. Peppers need 70 to 90 days from transplanting to first harvest. Late-started peppers barely produce before frost. January-started peppers produce heavily for 2 to 3 months. How to start? Temperature 70 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit for germination. Use heat mat. Light 14 to 16 hours daily once sprouted. Be patient, they grow slowly at first. Regional strategy. USA, Canada, zones 3 to 5, start early January. USA, zones 6 to 7, late January to early February. UK, late January to early February. Variety selection. Short seasons, early jalapeno, Carmen, lunchbox, 55 to 60 days. Longer seasons, bell peppers, larger hot peppers, 70 to 90 days. January started peppers in zone 5 can produce 2 to 3 times more fruit than March started ones. Vegetable 6. Artichokes, the perennial that needs vernalization. Artichokes are perennials that typically take 2 years to produce, but with January starting and a cold treatment, you can get first-year production. The vernalization secret. Artichokes need cold temperatures, vernalization, to trigger flowering. The edible artichoke is an unopened flower bud. Start seeds in January, give seedlings 10 to 14 days of cold treatment, 35 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, when they're 6 to 8 weeks old, and they'll produce the first year. How to start? Sow seeds indoors in January. Temperature 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit for germination, 10 to 14 days. Grow under lights for 6 to 8 weeks. Cold treatment, place in garage or refrigerator for 10 to 14 days. Transplant after last frost. Climate reality. Zones 7 to 10, artichokes are perennials. Zones 3 to 6 grow as annuals with vernalization. UK, southern regions can grow as perennials. Best varieties? Imperial Star, bred for annual production. Green Globe, traditional, large buds. One plant can produce 6 to 12 buds in its first year with proper vernalization. Vegetable 7, tomatoes, advanced techniques only, the expert's choice. Most people should not start tomatoes in January, but for specific techniques, it's exactly the right time. Why beginners shouldn't? Start regular tomatoes in January, and by May they're huge, leggy, stressed. That's worse than starting later. Why experienced gardeners do? Technique 1, grafting. Grafting tomatoes, joining a flavorful variety to disease-resistant rootstock, requires January starts. Both plants need to be the right size for grafting in March. Grafted tomatoes produce 30 to 50% higher yields. Technique 2, heated greenhouse production. With a heated greenhouse, start tomatoes in January for March to April indoor harvests. You're eating fresh tomatoes before outdoor season begins. Use compact varieties like Micro Tom or Window Box Roma. Technique 3, the double transplant method. Start seeds in January in small cells. First transplant, 4-inch pots at 4 weeks. Second transplant, 1-gallon pots at 8 weeks. Final transplant, garden at 12 to 16 weeks. Each transplant stimulates root growth. By the outdoor planting, these have massive root systems and produce 30 to 50% more fruit. Who should try? Experienced gardeners with grow lights and space. People grafting tomatoes, those with heated greenhouses. Who shouldn't? Beginners, people without adequate light. The January seed starting essentials. Equipment you need. Grow lights, non-negotiable. Even south-facing windows don't provide enough winter light. Heat mats, essential for peppers, beneficial for everything else. Seed starting mix, not garden soil, use sterile mix. Labels, you will forget what you planted. The common January mistakes. Mistake 1, starting without adequate light equals weak, leggy seedlings. Mistake 2, overwatering equals damping off, seedling death. Mistake 3, wrong temperature for seeds. Use heat mats for warm season crops. Mistake 4, starting too much. Calculate what you have space for. Mistake 5, no planning. Work backward from last frost date. Your January seed starting schedule. Week 1, start onions and leeks. Week 2, start celery and celeriac. Week 3, start peppers and artichokes. Week 4, start tomatoes only if using advanced techniques. That's your complete guide to beating the frost. Onions, leeks, celery, celeriac, peppers, and artichokes for advanced growers. While everyone else is dreaming about spring, you're already growing. While they're planting in May, you're weeks away from harvesting. January isn't downtime. It's when the growing season truly begins for serious gardeners. If this fired you up, I'd love if you'd subscribe and hit that bell icon. Drop a comment. Which vegetables are you starting in January? What's your biggest seed starting challenge? Thank you for watching. Here's to beating the frost and getting the earliest harvests of your life. Now go start some seeds. I'll see you in the next video.